All right, get ready. We are diving deep into a cricket match today. This one had more drama than you can shake a stick at. Imagine this, Sri Lanka, fresh off their Asia Cup win. They're on a high, right? And they're up against Australia, six-time World Cup champs. The catch. This is the first time these two teams are facing each other ever. And to make things even spicier, it's all going down on the Sharjah Cricket Stadium pitch.
Oh, Sharjah. Talk about a test of skill. That pitch is notorious, infamous even. Low bounce, slow pace. It can really throw even the best batters off their game.
It's a pressure cooker, for sure. And it's not just the pitch that's adding to the tension. This match means a lot for both sides, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. For Sri Lanka, this is more than just a game. It's about proving themselves on their journey back to the top. They've had a good run lately, much of it thanks to their captain, Chamari Athapaththu. But the question is, can she carry the team against a powerhouse like Australia?
Australia. They practically invented the term top dog.
Yeah.
But they're sailing in uncharted waters this tournament. For the first time in what feels like forever, they're without their star captain, Meg Lanning.
New era, new challenges. It's a real test for both teams. Sri Lanka fighting to prove their worth. And Australia showing the world they're still the ones to beat, even without their veteran leader.
The stakes, sky high. So let's get right into the action, shall we? Sri Lanka's innings, right off the bat, you could feel the pressure.
The heat of Sharjah, the weight of facing Australia, that tricky, tricky pitch, it must have been intense for those Sri Lankan batters. And the match report doesn't lie. It was an uphill battle from the word go.
They really struggled to get going, didn't they?
To put it mildly, it took them 16 balls. 16, just to get their first run on the board.
Oof, that's rough.
Australia's bowlers were on fire that day, especially Shet and Gardner. Their line and length, impeccable. Sri Lanka just couldn't find any breathing room to free their arms and score.
And that really showed in their boundary count, right?
Exactly. They managed a grand total of 4 boundaries in their entire innings. 4. That's almost unheard of in T20 cricket, even on a tricky pitch like Sharjah.
You're telling me.
It really highlights just how dominant Australia's bowling was that day.
You could practically feel the pressure mounting, the struggle to get those runs. It felt like Sri Lanka's hopes were hanging by a thread, depending on Athapaththu to deliver a captain's knock.
It did seem that way, didn't it? And, the pre-match analyses, they all pointed to this potential over-reliance on Athapaththu. Sadly, it seems those fears were realized. Athapaththu held her own, definitely a fighting knock. But the rest of the batting order, they just couldn't handle the pressure from Australia. They crumbled.
So Sri Lanka wraps up their innings. 93 runs. Not exactly a mountain of runs, is it? You'd think Australia could just, cruise to victory, right?
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But low-scoring matches, they can be surprisingly tricky. It's a different kind of pressure. You almost have more to lose. One mistake, one bit of magic from the other side, and the whole game can flip.
And that's what Sri Lanka was hoping for, wasn't it? Trying to turn the tables.
Oh, absolutely. They may have faltered with the bat, but they came out fighting in the field, determined to make Australia work for every single run.
And they struck early, too. That wicket of Alyssa Healy, that was big.
Crucial wicket, early in the chase. And once again, it was Prabhadani who delivered the goods.
She's becoming a bit of a game changer, isn't she?
She's got a knack for it, that's for sure. That delivery to Healy, oh, a beauty. A real blinder, as they say.
And for those of our listeners who might not be as familiar with cricket lingo, blinder basically means an unclayable delivery. Fast, deceptive, leaves the batter wondering what hit them.
Spot on. So Healy back in the pavilion early, and suddenly there's a glimmer of hope for Sri Lanka. They kept the pressure on, kept chipping away at those Australian batters.
But Australia, they're a seasoned team. They've been in tight spots before, and they had the depth to weather the storm, didn't they?
Absolutely. Mooney and Perry, experienced players, they stepped up, calmed things down, steadied the ship with a really composed partnership. They absorbed the pressure, kept the scoreboard ticking over, and when Sri Lanka did give them a chance, they punished those loose deliveries.
Gradually, they swung the momentum back in Australia's favor. But I was reading the match report, and there were a few moments, weren't there? Moments where Sri Lanka could have really put Australia on the back foot.
Oh, there were a couple of heart-stopping moments for sure. A couple of dropped catches, a missed stumping. And these weren't just any batters. These were key players for Australia.
It makes you think, what if?
Yeah.
What if those chances had gone Sri Lanka's way? Could they have pulled off the impossible?
It's hard to say, isn't it? Cricket, it's a game of millimeters sometimes. Those missed chances, combined with Sri Lanka's gutsy bowling changes, the way they set the field, There was a real sense that an upset could be on the cards.
Was there any one moment, looking back, where you thought, this is it, Sri Lanka's got this?
Hmm. There was a spell after Healy's wicket and then a couple more quick ones, where Australia looked rattled. The required run rate was creeping up and Sri Lanka were buzzing in the field. You could feel the tension. But that's where Australia's experience, their ability to stay calm under pressure, it really shone through. They wrestled back control. Mooney, she really stepped up. A well-paced 50. Just goes to show you, champion teams, they find a way even when things aren't going their way.
They dug deep, that's for sure.
Yeah.
A win for Australia, but not a walk in the park, not by a long shot. Sri Lanka really pushed them, didn't they?
They did. They really did. They found some cracks in that Australian armor, showed they're not invincible. They can be challenged.
And let's not forget, they did it under immense pressure. On a pitch that wasn't doing any batters any favors, it makes you wonder, where could Sri Lanka go from here with a bit more experience, a bit more composure in those crucial moments?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? This match, it was a glimpse of their potential, that's for sure. The talent is there, the passion, they can create those opportunities. But to really break through, to consistently challenge those top teams, they'll need to find that killer instinct, that ruthlessness, to grab those key moments and swing the match decisively in their favor.
It's interesting you say that because the match report, it actually highlighted how, even in defeat, there were positives for Sri Lanka. Their bowling, their energy in the field, it really stood out.
Absolutely. Their bowling attack, led by Prabodhani, she's a star in the making. They showed they can trouble any batting lineup in the world. And their fielding. Electric at times, some fantastic catches, some incredible run saves. Those are the building blocks right there.
It felt like that slow, low charge pitch. It almost leveled the playing field in a way. Do you think those conditions, could they work in favor of teams like Sri Lanka going forward? Could we see a few more upsets on the cards?
It's definitely a possibility. As we saw in this match, Sharjah, it demands a different approach. Batting, bowling, everything changes. The teams that can adapt quickly, that can keep a cool head when the pressure's on, they're the ones who'll thrive in these conditions.
It's going to be fascinating to see how the rest of the tournament unfolds, that's for sure. So there we have it, folks. We've dissected a match that was chock full of twists and turns, moments of brilliance. It wasn't just about the scorecard, was it? It was about those narratives. Australia, proving why they're the champs. Sri Lanka, showing us a glimpse of their potential.
And that reminder that in cricket, just like in life, it's often the smallest moments that can have the biggest impact.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep that love for the game alive.